There's been too much trouble here. Did you know that a young boy drowned the year before those two others were killed? The counselors weren't paying any attention. They were making love while that young boy drowned. His name was Jason.
Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. This will be another episode of what I've been watching. It's been almost 2 weeks since my last one, so I have fit in quite a few films. We'll just get straight into it here. First one was this is Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. This was an alright movie. It starts with sort of like there's an active volcano that's going to erupt on the island, and they sort of want to save all the dinosaurs, so it's sort of like a rescue mission, getting them and taking them somewhere else. Then sort of in the middle it turns into what do you call it, like a group of rich people trying to auction the dinosaurs. I don't know, it really didn't do it for me, that part. I don't know, it's just they're trying to just buy off dinosaurs, the rare ones and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't know, this movie didn't really do it for me. I think it was just made simply to cash in on a sequel, because Jurassic World was so popular, the first one. But yeah, enough about this one. But yeah, I will be ranking the Jurassic Park and Jurassic World movies soon, so yeah, keep out a look for that. Next one here, Pieces. Yeah, watched this one twice actually. Super fun, like mystery whodunit slasher. Has some really good gore in it. Some super funny, cheesy lines that are translated funny, because this is, I believe, a Spanish horror film that's been dubbed in English. There's a part where these high school people are talking while they're smoking pot, and they're like, oh, and one girl's like, oh, smoking pot, there's no better feeling than smoking pot and having sex on a waterbed, and the way it comes across is just super funny. There's also a really funny kung fu scene. I'm sure people that have seen it know exactly what I'm talking about. The undercover cop is sort of walking around the campus looking for the killer, or any sort of, I guess, clue to find who the killer is. And all of a sudden she gets attacked by this Asian guy that just goes all kung fu on her and like knocks her down and stuff, and then she knocks him down. And then one of the main characters, Kendall, arrives on a motorbike, like a dirt bike out of nowhere. And it's funny because the killer wields a chainsaw. So you hear this noise and you think, oh, a chainsaw, but like it's a dirt bike. I don't know why the fuck he'd be riding a dirt bike around on like a college campus in the middle of the night. And then he goes, oh, that's my kung fu professor. Like, what the fuck's a kung fu professor? Oh, it's just super funny. And then the kung fu guy hops up and he goes, oh, first thing I'm out jogging and then I'm on the ground. He goes, something bad I eat. Bad chop suey. I don't know, it was just like a funny, super funny, like random comedy bit that they just inserted. I don't know, it was just, yeah, hilarious. But yeah, other than that, the movie's really good. Has some great gore, great suspense. You don't really know, well, at least I didn't really work out who the killer was until, it becomes kind of obvious at the end. It does point in the direction that this one guy is the killer, but it's kind of like focuses on him too much. I think it's a bit obvious that he's not. But yeah, that's Pieces. Extremely fun slasher film. Next one we have here is Incident in a Ghostland. Another one I've watched twice. A really good look at, I guess, how people deal with traumatic events differently. Like, these two girls are involved and their mother in a home invasion, and they get really abused and stuff like that. And one's kind of dealing with it like, she just goes crazy over it pretty much, and the other one sort of just escapes from it into her own, I guess, made up world in her mind. So she just sort of gets away from it that way, and the other one sort of just deals with it how most people would probably deal with it, by going nuts. This movie definitely benefits from a rewatch after you've seen it. And probably, I guess, the more times you watch it, the more you'll pick up on different things. Yeah, but one of the best films probably in the last 20 years. I really enjoy that film. Next one here is Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Yeah, the title says it all. It's just your standard Leprechaun film. Someone steals his gold and he wants it back, and he just goes on a killing spree. This time they're in the hood like the last one. I think the character of Jamie was super funny. The real pothead guy, like one of the main guys in the group. Especially when the cops find his big stash of weed and he goes, "Oh, my mama is Italian and she likes a lot of oregano in her lasagna." Oh, that cracked me up, man. That was super funny. But yeah, it's the same formula as and you know what you're getting yourself into with a Leprechaun film. So yeah, it's Leprechaun Back to the Hood. Next one here's Silent Night, Deadly Night. Yeah, heard about this film for a couple of years and finally picked it up the other week. Super fun Christmas slasher. Billy's parents get murdered. Well, they try to get their car gets hijacked when he's a young child by a guy, like a mall Santa, like a guy that's dressed up as Santa for Christmas, kills the parents in front of him. So he grows up with, a real fear and stuff of Santa Claus and Christmas. And he gets a job at a toy store when he's older, and his boss wants him to be Santa Claus for the kids one Christmas, and he snaps, kills all his all his workmates and stuff. And especially he has this formula where if you've been nice all year, he'll let you live, but if you've been naughty, he'll kill you. And before he kills people, he's like naughty and then kills them. I think that's super funny. Also the sledding scene. Those guys are sledding in in the forest or whatever, sliding down a hill on his sled, and he pops out behind the bush, cuts his head off, and you get this view from the bottom of the hill of the sled coming down with this person on it with no head. That's super funny. That cracked me up big time. And also the transfer on this, Scream Factory or Shout Factory, I don't know what they go by these days, but the transfer on that is really, really awesome. Next up, we have Full Metal Jacket. Fantastic war film. I don't really know what to say about this. It's up there with probably my top 3 war films. Sort of kind of split into 2 parts where they're at the drill camp or whatever, learning how to be soldiers and stuff like that. And the second part's them actually going to Vietnam to fight the war. Fantastic performance by Ali Ermey, sorry. I forget his character's name, but the drill instructor. Man, you could list off quotes that he says throughout this, and they all just crack you up. Especially when he's giving it to Private Pyle the whole time. I remember one, he's climbing an obstacle, and he's like, "You climb obstacles like grandparents, fuck," and it's just I don't know, absolute crack up. And yeah, watching Private Pyle go insane, and end up killing himself and others. And then the whole war thing is also pretty brutal too. You got Private Joker, who doesn't kill anybody in the whole movie until the very end. Kills one person when they're asking to be killed. But yeah, it sort of shows the grittiness of war as well, which is really cool. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about it, but really perfect war movie. Next up, we have Madman. Yeah, this was kind of just an average slasher for me. The story of Madman Mars. I know I've only watched it once. It might benefit from a rewatch, but I don't think there's enough of him on screen. And it's super slow pace. Nothing really happens until about 50 minutes in. You just see sort of his hand and a little bit of him creeping around, and there's not really that much on-screen kills and gore. I know, I think I just expected a little bit more from it from what I've heard, but it's still not a bad film at all. And there's a few really funny scenes in this. I don't know if people know the hot tub scene where they're the couple are sort of just circling around the hot tub while they're in it and doing little spins and stuff. I know that was a crack up. And also when one girl's running away from Madman Mars and she runs past the fridge and then goes back to it and like pulls all the shit out of the fridge and hides inside the fridge. I thought that was hilarious because you'd think he'd just walk past and notice like everything's on the floor and be like, oh, she's in the fridge, but he just goes straight past. I thought that was fucking hilarious. But yeah, I think it'll benefit from a rewatch. But yeah, it is a pretty slow slasher, but definitely worth a look if you haven't seen it. Next up here, The Devil's Rejects. I fucking love this movie. Yeah, Rob Zombie one. I don't get the hate that Rob Zombie gets. I think it's just kind of cool to hate on Rob Zombie, in my opinion. Kind of like how Eli Roth gets the same sort of treatment. But anyway, yeah, the sadistic violence in this movie is crazy. Like, you follow the family the whole time, and you're just wanting them to die because they're doing so much fucked up things to everyone. Great road trip movie. I really like my road trip movies, especially horror ones. I don't know why, they just have a cool tone to them. This has a great soundtrack. All the music is so on point. Gets you really into the movie. And yeah, can't wait for 3 from Hell coming out, I think, end of this year. But yeah, I'm sure everyone's seen this, but yeah, I fucking love this movie. Next one here, Inglorious Bastards. This is such a good movie. Probably the second time I've watched it. I watched it for like when it came out years and years ago, and finally rewatched it, and yeah, super good. Like, I think it's like, pretty sure it's like a 2.5 hour movie, and it flies by quicker than most hour-and-a-half movies. Yeah, it just flew by, and it was super fun. The violence that the bastards get up to, killing the Nazis, is pretty intense. Like, that scene where he's bashing that guy's head in with the baseball bat, and you can see the whole scene. And yeah, the whole cinema scene when they burn the cinema down. Yeah, just perfect Tarantino goodness. Next up, Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. I was actually listening to a podcast when I was driving around for work about this franchise, and they were talking about, every film in the franchise, and they're talking about this, and it just made me want to watch it again, because it's probably the one that I haven't seen. I've seen all the others probably in the last couple of years, but not this one, and this one is actually like really, really brutal. Probably the most gritty and dirty looking chainsaw movie since the original. So much gore in it too. And they really, like, this was like 3 years after the remake. And like, surprisingly, they got all the cast from the remake back. And they answered all the questions that sort of people had about the remake, which is exactly what a prequel should do. Like how Uncle Monty loses his legs, and Sheriff Hoyt, again, Ali Ermey, does another fantastic performance in this. I reckon he's the star of the remake and the beginning. Yeah, he's just that fucking insane. Like, kills the cop, puts on the uniform, and then he thinks he's the authority. Like, he just believes it. Like, but yeah, highly recommend, if you haven't seen this one in a long time, to give it another watch, because yeah, it's really, really awesome. And last one I have here, the original Child's Play. Haven't seen this in a really, really long time. Put it in last night and watched it, and had so much fun with it. It was good to revisit it. I think this was 1988. It feels like an early 80s movie, but the animatronics on Chucky are really, really good for the time. It's pretty much straight up horror the whole way out. Yeah, I'm sure this movie needs no introduction, but yeah, I just loved it. Super fun. Still haven't seen the remake. When that comes out on Blu-ray or whatever, I will get it and then finally rank this franchise. So I think this is one of the more, or probably the most consistent franchise with good movies in it out of the horror franchises. But yeah, so that's what I've watched in the last probably close to 2 weeks. Let me know what you think of these movies in the comments below. And yeah, what have you guys been checking out lately? I'd like to hear from you. Alrighty guys, thank you and have a good night.